Hi everybody. Starting out with some new stencils that we have printed out for Steven's Designs. Stencils that we worked with Lindsay with Tarnation Creations to design for her new lollipop design. So here's what we have. We've got a little swirly that has the center open, and then another one where all of the points meet together. Okay, so let's go over our list of supplies here. We're gonna need 3 different colors of your Silly Winks glittered foam paper. For today's example, we're gonna use white, red, and green, all 3 glitter colors. We're gonna place these on the Dollar Tree styrofoam circles. They come 2 to a package. One thing we need to be aware of is not all of these are the same diameter. Some of them are even a 1/16 of an inch off. So we're gonna oversize everything so that we can trim it down at the end. That way we don't take the chance on cutting our foam too small. We're also gonna need some bamboo skewers. I got these at Walmart. You can also get them at the Dollar Tree. And then we have our biodegradable straws. These is a 300 piece package. They're multicolored, and I got them off of Amazon. For today's examples, we're gonna just use a red and a green. And then I used a ultra fine point Sharpie and my X-Acto knife and a ruler. All right, so the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna just trace our circles on the main color, the background color that we wanna have. So we're just gonna take our Sharpie and trace around them. Then these are about 3/4 of an inch wide. So we're gonna take our ruler and measure 3/4 of an inch all the way down. Then what I did is connect my line, and you can take scissors or your X-Acto knife and just cut that line. We're gonna actually have 2 of them. For this example, we're gonna have 2 white ones with red and green alternating colors. So for this example, we'll just go ahead and connect the lines here. And went ahead and measured the 3/4 inch and just made dots all the way down my foam paper with my Sharpie. Then I'll take the Sharpie and go ahead and just connect those dots all the way down to the end. And then just take your X-Acto knife. And once you get more comfortable, you don't necessarily have to trace anything out. You can just use your X-Acto knife to cut it. But for today's purposes, I went ahead and traced it out so everyone could see the process. There's the one strip. For the circles, I'll go ahead and use my scissors just because it's easier. And we'll cut all the way down the second line. And this strip is going to go around the edge of our lollipop. There we go. We'll break that one free and set it to the side. And then grab your scissors and just cut these circles out. Try to stay as close to the line as you can. There's the one. I'll cut out the second one. You don't have to be perfect, but as close to perfect as you can get them. There will be some trimming needed done at the end. Like I said, that's just because all of the foam discs are not the same. But they're $1.25 for 2, so we can't complain that much. Alright, there's our second one. Okay, then you're going to take your red and your green. I'm going to flip them over, and you'll see what I was able to do off camera was I just take my stencil, I'm going to flip it over, and I traced the inside of this here. And the same with the red. I just used the opposite stencil, the one with the open center, flip it over, center it down on your paper, your foam paper, and then go ahead and either trace, or you can take your X-Acto knife inside of the stencil and just go ahead and cut it out that way. So we'll go ahead and do the green one first. Let's make sure you guys can see. So we're just gonna take, and with our X-Acto knife, being really, really careful with this to cut right on that line. Using nice fluid motions. We don't need any jagged edges here. I found that when I tried to freehand this, it was a little difficult, and I wanted to make it easier and quicker for everyone to make their lollipops this year. So I did ask Lindsay if I could take inspiration from her design, her 2024 design for her lollipops, and make a stencil of that to put in our Etsy shop. And y'all, that Etsy shop is Stevens Designs Co. wy.etsy.com. And this does take a little bit of time, but not near as much time as last year's designs, where you had to cut the 2-inch foam and fold it in half and glue it and then roll it all together. That took quite a lot of time. And this will also save on hot glue burns. We all know how much those hurt, so. And I'll start our last little piece here. If you have difficulty with the X-Acto knife, it's okay to grab your scissors and just go to town cutting these little bad boys out. Make sure you have a super sharp blade. It will help glide right through this glittered foam. Sometimes you'll get a piece that has really chunky glitter on it, and that can be a problem. Just grab your scissors and cut it out that way. All right, so let's finish removing the foam pieces here. Here's our green. I'll get that out of the way. All right. Get our glue gun turned on. Here's one of our circles, our foam discs. We're just gonna try this on for size, and it fits perfectly. Now, to make sure your pieces are centered, we're gonna take this flip it upside down, just like we did when we traced it. See how it has a little tiny bit of gap, and that is on purpose. So we flip it right side up, and you'll notice on the back side of these, there's a lip right here. That will fit very, very snugly on the outside. If you hear that snap, you know you're in the right spot. Guys, we did this to ensure that you put the pieces on here in the right angle, because the angle of the piece matters. So just to make sure we have everything on there with the correct angle, we snap that onto the disc and pop those pieces on there, and it's perfect every single time. All right, let's make sure we have our glue gun ready to go. All right, just gonna take a little dab here. In the center. Now obviously if I were doing this to use as a piece or to use to sell to a customer through my Etsy shop, I would finish gluing this on all the way around. All right, so then I will take one of my little skewers. It is pointed on one end. I'm not sure where's my angle. There we go. It's pointed on one end. So what I did is I found a seam on the disc and just put that in there just as far as I could, right in the center of the width of this piece. Okay, that's just gonna mark your hole. Now you're gonna take one of the 3/4 inch strips that you made earlier, and we're just gonna line it up on the edge. Line it up at the top first, your top edge, so your glitter strip is gonna meet your glitter circle. Let's see, where'd that hole go? Here we go. So what I do is I start at the spot that I made the hole. I'm just gonna take a little dab of glue here and line this up right at the edge of that hole and the edge of your top glitter piece, okay? And then you can run a little skinny bead of glue all the way around. Let's make sure I'm in frame here. Little tiny bit all the way around. And we'll take this and match it up to that top glitter piece. Gently press to get that glue to adhere. So it's lined up perfectly with that top edge. And we will have a tiny little bit in places because these discs are not perfect. They are Dollar Tree. They're not perfect, so we do the best we can. We're going to take and finish running that bead of glue all the way back around to the edge of that hole that we made with the dowel, excuse me. So we're gonna line this up as best we can, all the way around to the edge. And then we're going to cut off the excess. And let's see, it looks like there is about 2.5 inches of extra glitter foam that we're gonna take off of that edge piece. Okay, so you're gonna take that, the stencil that you used to cut out your pieces, and we're just gonna gently set that here. Take your glue gun, little tiny bit all along the edge here. Make sure it's secure. We don't need our foam pieces coming off on us. And we're just gonna gently set them down inside our stencil. And you may find it's easier when you're just starting out making these lollipops to put your stencil pieces on before you put your outside ring on. And that's okay too. If you're one of those designers where imperfect is perfect for you, then however you choose to do it is perfect. All right, one last piece here. Little tiny bits of glue. Ooh, hot. I'm gonna set that down inside our stencil. Gently press down to make sure it's all gonna stick. Guys, look at that spearmint. How perfect is that? All right, so I do have my glue pot hot and ready to go on the edge of my screen. So I'm gonna take my skewer and dip it into my glue pot. Get a little tiny bit of a glob. You don't want to go crazy, but you do want enough glue on this that you're gonna be able to, there we go. We have enough glue that's gonna glue our paper straw on at the end. And you can sort of see at the edge where this is gonna go. We're gonna kind of twist as we push in, pull out a little bit. And what we're doing is we're just trying to distribute that glue. Twist and push in. There we go. And we do have a little bit of a glob of glue right here. That's okay, don't panic. Okay, so we're gonna get our green paper straw and we're gonna just slide it onto the end, down to that glue. And we're gonna run it down, twist it, and run it forward and backwards on that skewer so that it gets glue all down that length, or as far down that length as you can get it. Okay. Then if you're a perfectionist like I am, you can take a little bit of that glob off when it's almost dry. That way it's not too hot and you don't burn yourself. All right. Then you can use your scissors, but I choose not to. I'm just gonna grab my nippers and come down to the end here and just nip that skewer off. And watch out for flying objects because it will fly. All right, there's our first little spearmint. How cute is that? Let's work on our peppermint now. So it's the same process, only we're gonna use our other stencil, and this is the one that has the open part in the center. So we're gonna flip it upside down just like we did with our green piece. So we flipped our paper upside down. Let me bring it down just a smidge. Flipped it upside down, and I just centered this on here. Here we go. There. And then just traced it. Now you can, if you want to, just take your X-Acto knife inside here and trim and cut it out that way. But as I just wanted to do this the easier way for, say, someone who was just starting out. And sometimes it is easier to trace it and then go back with your cutting tool. So I'll just take my cutting tool and be pretty precise. Firm, but gentle at the same time because you don't want to rip your foam. So you'll see me moving my fingers and inching closer to the tip of my blade at times. And that's just to hold my foam paper so that it doesn't try to crinkle up on me. So go to the point and come to that outer curve. We're gonna meet up with that other point. Then I try to go from the center in, but sometimes it wants to crinkle on you. So you just go back a little bit and come back the other way. Then you can hold that point down with your other hand and come to that outer point. Let's see. I got this really close to the edge, so hopefully you guys can see it. It should glide fairly smoothly. If not, like I said, just go back the other direction and come at it from the other way. But you want to try as much as you can to not crinkle that foam, otherwise it will tear. So keep it tight and firm, yet gentle pressure on your cutting tool. As close to those lines as you can. And that should have been our last cut. Yes, all right. So we'll just remove this from your foam sheet, and then you can just get this out of the way. Oopsie. Let's get this out of here. All right. So here's our cutout piece for our peppermint. Here is another circle. And let's see, I found just a little ridge here and put that skewer in just as far as it'll go. It's about 2 inches. Doesn't have to go all the way in there. Then we're gonna take a little bit of glue, go all over the place. Okay, glue strings. Okay, we'll just gently set that on. Press it down gently. Okay, that is on there. So let's put this one on next. Guys, and I do only use Gorilla Glue hot glue. It's just a preference of mine. I like how it sets back up after it cools. And it seems to hold very, very well, even in extreme hot and cold temperatures. I'm gonna also put a little teeny tiny dab in the center. And you can glue the center down first. You don't have to. All right, so line those edges up as close as you can. Grab that centerpiece, stick it down, and then you can gently press the rest of your pieces in. Guys, how perfect is that? So cute. All right, so now we're gonna find that hole that we put in there. Put a tiny little bit of glue on the edge here and run a bead. And then we're gonna take the edge and line it up with the top edge of our lollipop and press that in. Now this one, it looks like we may have a tiny little bit of overhang on the bottom side. That's okay. No two discs seem to be created equally at Dollar Tree. That's okay. We just shift directions. We are flexible, right? So we're gonna put another bead continuing on all the way around back to the little tiny hole that we put with our dowel or our bamboo skewer, pardon me. You can use the tiny dowels. They're just more expensive than these bamboo skewers, especially when you can find them at the Dollar Tree or the $1.25 store. And we go all the way back up to that edge and line it up. Hold it there for just a quick second to let that glue set for just a second. Pull it back ever so slightly and trim that off. Okay, and you can close that gap very gently with your fingers. Just kind of pull, push and pull. All right, there is the outside edging on our peppermint. We're gonna take our skewer, the pointy side, dip it into our glue pot that is just off camera. And you don't need a ton of glue, but just enough to make a little dollop on the outside of your candy. You twist it as you push that in, it's gonna disperse that glue around. And now we're gonna use our red and put that over the end of our bamboo skewer and into that little blob of glue. We're gonna twist and pull down the skewer so it kind of pulls that glue just ever so slightly down the skewer. That way it's gonna glue our paper straw onto the bamboo skewer. Okay, you can, like I said, you can use your scissors to cut off your excess on your bamboo. I choose not to. I just leave my scissors for mesh stringers and ribbon. Everything else I cut with my side cutters. And watch out for flying objects. Guys, this is so sturdy. Isn't this adorable? So cute. Shimmers in all of the light. Look at all of that. All right. So now we have our spearmint and our peppermint. So cute, you guys. So cute. Here are the 2 stencils. They are sold as a pack of 2. They will be on my Etsy shop as of this evening. Our Etsy shop is Stevens Designs Co. WY, and that WY is for Wyoming. Stevens Designs was taken, Stevens Designs Co. was taken, so we had to adjust. So here's our finished project made with our 2 stencils that we printed according to Lindsay with Tarnation Creations Lollipop Designs. We did get permission from her to design some stencils based on her 2024 lollipop designs. So if anyone is interested in making this lollipop so easy, you don't have to really have a thought process. You can just trace and go. Super duper simple. Head on over to our Etsy shop. That is Stevens Designs Co. WY.etsy.com. Thank you all so much. Thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed learning how to make these lollipop designs with our 3D printed stencils, and I hope you all have a great weekend. Thanks so much.